Okay, I'm gonna try to start the car. So I got a remanufactured engine in there. I got a rebuilt transmission. I got the GM alternator, generic electronic ignition. I did a bunch of wiring. Right now the radiator is topped off. I checked the oil, it's good. The transmission level is full right now, but it hasn't started yet. So if everything goes right and it's running, I'm gonna start adding transmission fluid. It's also off the ground because I want to check the gears, but I got to be careful to make sure, at least at first, I'm going to make sure that I put if the wheel starts spinning, I want to make sure I brake it, stop the wheels before I shift any gears for now. So I think, anyway, we'll see what happens. Hasn't been run this engine has not ran in the car. This transmission has not ran in the car. So here we go. And the fuel pump probably has to fill up. Turn the idle up. I forgot to open the door, so I'm going to open the door, turn the car off. It hasn't taken any transmission fluid yet. start the car, get in the car, put it in gear. I'm gonna keep my foot on the brake. Got the seat all the way back. Yeah, I shifted to the gears. See, the radiator overflow tank was overflowing. It took, you saw how much fluid I put in. I'm going to shift it to some gears again. I got some tire rotation. It's not taking more. We'll just give it a little bit of time. Get back in the car, shift some more gears. Forward and reverse, and the farmer works. It took some more fluid. It's down to here now. I still think it needs 2 or 3 more quarts. oil pressure of 50. Right now the transmission fluid says good. I still think I need 2 more quarts. So I'm going to get back in, put it in drive, reverse. Just make sure. I did this mistake before. Keep your foot on the brake. Unless you're in drive or neutral, don't just put it into reverse. Make sure you have the brakes on, if that makes sense. Grinding noise was I put it in park, but I had the brake on all the way. You see that radiator cap I have with the red pressure relief? Do yourself a favor, get one of those. But anyway, the transmission fluid was full, the oil was full. I still needed to pump through the transmission. says full. Radiator is topped off for now. I'm gonna go get in and shift some gears again. I got reverse, I got forward. Again, that grinding was me putting it in park, but I looked back, the wheels weren't spinning. I don't know what that means. Dipstick is hot. When I do the release, I'm checking to see if any water comes out because I don't want to get boiled. Okay, now remember the power steering pump is also different, so I'm going to check the fluid in that. I can't tell. It's either really clean, because it's all new fluid, or let me turn the wheel and see what happens. power steering noise. I'm gonna put a little bit of fluid in. I'm not sure. It's overflowing. I'm gonna turn the car off. Yeah, I guess it was full. I couldn't tell. Now I got fluid dripping all over the place. And now the radiator is overflowing. You see that? Of course, I had the overflow open. Yeah, I gotta suck some of that brake. I'll show you. Let me clean my hands. I'll show you. That's full to the very top. That's power steering. Let's open this cap again and see if it overflows. So that's why the cap, if you're going to check your water, let the pressure out first. So I got to suck some of this out. I think I can use my brake, my brake suction thing to suck it out. So I'm going to do that. But it started right up. I know I got forward and reverse. For some reason I got a grind going in the drive. Maybe that'll go away. I don't know what that is. I'm not a transmission guy. My oil pressure worked, my voltmeter did not work, and my RPM didn't work, and I'm not sure why. I think I don't have a ground on it. So anyway, let me, anyway, it started, the transmission seems to be working. The generator light went off, by the way. I forgot to check to see if it was charging. So after I clean up, I'm going to charge. I'm going to put a voltmeter on there, see if it's charging. But I mean, as far as I can tell, the generator light was off, which it's supposed to once it starts charging. But I didn't actually look right at it. Maybe it was on. Okay, I got my air brake leader. See if I can suck some fluid out. It's all the way to here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's full. So I use this tool to bleed my brakes. Bleed my brakes. Got it from Harbor Freight a long time ago, but you can see it does other things. I think now I'm going to spray some engine cleaner in there to get that brake fluid out. This is the reason you don't paint your car or even get anywhere near until you're last. You just saw I got brake fluid all over it. Brake cleaner. I'm not going to drive it yet. I'm going to clean up underneath, see if I find any. I'm going to clean up everything, see if there's any leaks. Get this voltmeter working, get this tachometer working. Then I'll do voltage check, see if it's charging and so on. I had 3 pairs of old Levi's I was saving for something like this. This is mostly water, but I'll just let it soak up and put it in a barrel, or I put it in a 5-gallon jug. Then I'll probably put some soap in it. I mean, these are probably still good in the future. So I got the floor mopped up. But these mufflers, they didn't sound too bad. They're not real quiet and they're not real loud, and they were freaking really cheap. Let's see if we got any leaks. Let's see, that is right here. There's nothing there. I don't know what that is. Not any fluids. This power steering assist thing's not leaking, believe it or not. Transmission pan's not leaking. Oil pan's not leaking. Success. Okay, why wasn't the tach working? I don't think I have it hooked all the way up. I must have got sidetracked. So I need a 12-volt switch when the ignition's on, or basically the coil. Engine ground and a signal from the tach. I got the signal from the tach. I don't know if I have these two. Okay, so battery, tach. I got the green wire. To the right spot. I need an engine ground like underneath it. and 12-volt ignition. So I don't have the ground and the ignition down here. This is for the light. I'm not going to use that. For the voltmeter, I'm not sure why that didn't go on. Oh, you know why? I think because I have it in series. I found out you can't, I think you can't run voltmeters in series. They just don't work. So I just need to run this green wire, which is the power. Let me see here. I don't know. That's what I'm going to do, and we'll start it up again. And maybe I'll take it for just at least back up the driveway and come back in. That's my plan. I got enough time. Okay, second from the right, the voltmeter, that's working. It's up to 14, so it is charging. I just turned. Okay, I'm just going to explain this gauge wiring real quick. Especially the voltmeter, because I didn't understand. But basically, I got power running from the hot side of the solenoid. Battery, solenoid. Then I got it running through a fuse, through a switch, and then into here. This is one of those Wacos. So this Waco is split 3 ways. The point what I want to make is that each one of these wires is in parallel. They're not in series. So in other words, if I was to tie this wire into that wire and only have one wire going in here, the voltmeter wouldn't work. So I got, these are in parallel. So I got one parallel running to the voltmeter and one parallel, let's see, and the red one running to the tachometer. The ground, now we already talked about the tach. The tach is right there. So the tach is just going to the tach. The ground, I just have it tied into one of these Wacos again. Again, this is just temporary, so I'm just clipping this onto the carburetor because we know that's grounded from earlier tests. It's grounded through the carburetor bolts, to the manifold, to the engine block, and then it comes back up to here. So that's it. So does the voltmeter work now? Before, I think I can't remember. I might have had it in series, which it won't work. So here we go. I've got a switch here. Trying to do this with one hand. It's awkward. Voltmeter's working. It's on 14 volts. You know, the water temperature wasn't working either. And that's just going through. There's only one connection, I think. Let me see. Anyway, I'm ready to start the car up again. Except for I might as well get the temperature working because I want to know what that is. Or try to get it working. And so when I turn this car on, remember I did all kinds of stuff. I did mufflers, fuel gauge, just endless amount of things. So I got to be really careful that everything works. But going back to that, getting rid of that, if I showed it, getting rid of that, what's it called? A resistor wire. I don't know if I talked about that. I think I did a couple of videos ago. So I went under the dash. I got rid of the resistor wire, ran a 12 volt, let's see, how was that? Ran 12 volts from the key without the resistor, and basically that comes to right here. Now, I don't know if I said this. I don't need this anymore. Again, I might have said this 10 times, I can't remember, but this is the I terminal on the starter solenoid. Sorry if I said this 100 times. The way this works on the old cars that have a coil and a distributor with points. This S is when you turn a key and crank it, the starter will crank. But at the same time, it'll give 12 volts to here. So in other words, these aren't connected until it's a relay. So once you give power, the relay works, the power goes through here and here, and it goes through here and here. So the reason this is here is because the older cars, the coil needed 12 volts to start. Again, I apologize, I've already said this. So in other words, if the resistor wire still was in there, and I put a voltmeter on here, it'd be like 6.9 to 9 volts, something like that. And then when this cranked, it would jump across, get 12 volts, go all the way back, meet where that split is I showed on the drawing, come back to the coil, and it would give 12 volts to the old coil that was sitting somewhere over here. I think it was bolted to there during crank, and then after crank it would go, this would turn off, and you'd only have the resistance wire voltage, which was 6 to 9 volts, if that makes sense. I know it's complicated. It was complicated for me. So what I'm going to do again today, I'm going to start the car up again. We're going to check the transmission fluid again, check the power steering fluid again, check the oil again, check the radiator fluid again, see if the tach is not working. The voltmeter is working right now because I got this switch on. Again, I could tie that right into here because this is 12 volts now. I don't even need this wire, but here's 12 volts if I ever need it. And it's only hot when the key is in the on, not the start. So anyway, getting back to that, see if the tach's working. I know the oil pressure is working. I know the voltmeter is working. Water pressure, see if we can get that, water temperature, see if we can get that working. Go in, when I'll sit in the car, I'll start it. We'll see if the generator light goes out. There's a million videos on this. They're not always clear, and mine probably isn't clear either. But basically, the way the theory is, this is the power from the generator. It's grounding through the alternator, so the light's on. Once this starts spinning, again, this is what I don't understand. Once this starts spinning, this is no longer a ground, so the light goes out because it doesn't have a ground anymore. What makes it do that? I don't know. A diode? I'm not sure. An internal diode, possibly. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to work on that water meter. This might be a longer video, but so I got these voltmeters. Again, going back to the water temperature gauge. So one of these came in each gauge. Every single one of these is oil water, has a plus, has 1, 2, 3. Let me think about this. No, I shouldn't. I know it's wrong. Anyway, I was going to say, if you want to know how to hook up your gauges, here it is. But I know why I don't need power, because it's mechanical. So why didn't it work? Why did it not work? Maybe I wasn't looking at it. Let me see, do I have it hooked up? Where is it? Yeah, it's hooked up right here. It should work. Okay, so I'm gonna start the car. I'm gonna do all those things that I said, or try to, and I'm just gonna be running around like a mad dog. And then maybe I'll take it for a short ride. Maybe I won't. Like I said, at least up and down the driveway here. Okay, you're not going to be able to hear me over the car, so I'm just going to point at things and I'll give you a thumbs up if it's okay and a thumbs down if it's bad. But they also you can watch to see if there's any fluid coming out. Because right now the floor is clean. Also, watch me in the window or the windshield. If I give you a thumbs up, the generator light went out. I'm not even sure if I have to rev it up, so we'll just check it out. It might just go right out. If it's charging, the light should go out. Okay, key off. Generator light is on. screw on the back. Maybe it's on four cylinder. But again, I got forward, reverse, generator lights working, it's charging, it's idling, it's not scissors. I got 2 of them. I'm gonna get both of them. On the golf cover. It's always something. It feels like it's not getting spark, or it sounds like it. Let me turn the camera off, see if I can figure this out. So the maiden voyage was 10 feet.